All right, why don't we start the annual meeting? This is being recorded. And what I could do is tell the people who are not able to attend to maybe check the recording. And if they have any questions about, the content of the annual meeting, they can always let me know and I could deal with it later. So why don't we start? I do want to get this in. We're coming down to the last 15 minutes or so. I thought I had a half hour. But let me say this. I want to welcome everybody to our annual meeting. Like I just mentioned, it is a requirement by state law that we have this meeting as a corporation. We also use this as an opportunity to have our elections. And of course, there's no elections this year. We have those every other year. And also to give the membership an opportunity to hear an update of things that are going on within the past year, and also to ask any questions. So let me just touch on a few things. In the past year, I think it's been a good year for us. Our membership is up to about 356, which is about 31 more than when we started the year. So that's always good, 9.some% increase. As far as financially goes, we are still on solid fiscal ground. Our investment accounts did take a pretty big hit, and we do rely on the investments to keep our operations running. We didn't really take a loss yet because it's an unrealized loss that, the stock market and everything. And so unless we were to cash in our investment, then we don't realize that loss. Of course, we're all hoping that's going to come up. And we do have other sources of income that we use to run the organization. Of course, membership is a big one. Now, unfortunately, I think we did have to raise the dues this year. But that is the first time in the last 7 years, so I don't feel too bad about that. I think what I want the membership to know is that we take that very seriously. We hate to raise the dues, but given the increase in expenses and everything else that occurred last year, we didn't think we had a whole lot of choice. Other sources of income that we've had was, of course, donations. We had one member make a very nice donation in the memory of Dan Jones, who passed away earlier this year. And of course, we rely on the donations of equipment and cameras and images and anything else that the public wants to give us and the members. Most of that stuff will either be sold at a Photogric show, which was the first one we've had in 3 years, very successful. We'll talk more about that later. And also stuff that we put up on eBay. And Joe Moses has been doing that for us, and that brings in income. So we have a number of sources that keeps us very solvent. We did have to file, of course, with the state like we do every year, and provide fiscal details, and we did that, and we don't think we're going to have any problem at all, as in past years. But if there's any other questions on that, please don't hesitate to let me know, and I can get more detail if you like. So between the membership and the fiscal, those are really critical parts of our operation. But I also want to mention, as far as going forward in the fiscal, we did have a board meeting today, and we talked about maybe having advertisements in some of our publications. As you know, we have snapshots in the journal, and the board went along with that. So we're going to start, we have to work out the details, exactly how that's going to work. But if you know anybody who may be interested in advertising their product or whatever, there is going to be some information coming out that will give those people an opportunity. So I would not mind at all if you would to advertise that feature that will be coming. Now I'd like to hit on just a few of the other things that occurred in the past year. Of course, we had programs. And Dana lined up an incredible list of speakers. Now, of course, we're still still kind of adapting to Zoom meetings. It's a two-edged sword. It seems like we're able to attract a lot more people at our meetings on Sunday nights. But on the other hand, we kind of miss the face-to-face interactions that we used to have. We're somewhat correcting that a little bit tonight, because one of the really nice features of having in-house meetings was a show and tell, where people would get up and show what piece of their collection or some tidbit of information. And Dana wisely, I think, wanted to correct that, and that's what we're going to be doing tonight. We'll be starting that part of our program tonight at 7:30. We did put out a journal, it's actually the 2021 journal that came out in 2022. We usually run about a year behind, and this year is going to be the same. The journal, I think, has over the years, and even last year especially, has gained a lot of respect. We had two main articles last year come out in that journal, and one author was from California, and the other one was from, actually from both from California, now that I think of it. This year's journal, which will hopefully be coming out really soon, we have, again, two main articles, actually three, and the authors come from Rhode Island, Australia, and New York. So I think that gives you an idea of the respect the journal has gotten in people trying to get really nice articles out there for people to read. Let's see, as far as snapshots go, Bonnie Riegelman, and with the help of a lot of help actually from her husband Lou, has put out this, I think, amazing publication every month that has some really interesting articles in it, and keeps the membership informed about things that are happening on a monthly basis. And snapshots, in the journal and program, it reminds me, in the other programs, it reminds me of seeing a gander of ducks, that is a gander, going across a pond. You have all these different things going on, but what you don't see is all the activity down below, all the paddling to keep things going. It's a lot of work, a lot of effort. And Bonnie and Lou and Dana and Reich and everybody else puts an incredible amount of effort. The warehouse operation with Paul and Joe and Lou, it's just amazing. About Photographica, we had our first Photographica show this year, and the first time in 3 years, and it was amazingly successful. And I want to thank John Dockery for pulling that off. He found a new venue, and actually Paul was very instrumental in finding the venue at Newton High, and it seemed to work out very, very well. The dealers are all very pleased, and it was the first one in 3 years. We sold out all the tables, and we made some money. Not a huge amount of money, but it was enough to make it really worthwhile for us. And it's a nice opportunity to get everybody together in one room where they can exchange their stories and equipment and buy and sell stuff. Probably one of the biggest accomplishments I think we had this year is the website. Now, as you know, we're having a little bit of a technical issue here that Reich is working on, but Reich, are you with us now? Or are you still behind the scenes working on that technical issue? I don't see his name up here, so he's probably still working on a technical issue. We had our original website hacked into, as you may remember, a few years ago, and that caused a real crisis. But I think, if I remember correctly, the derivative of the word crisis is Greek, and it also means opportunity. And God knows we used that opportunity to revamp the website. And I see that Reich just appeared on the screen. I'm not sure you're with us or not yet, Reich, to talk, but if you have not visited the website, you are really, really missing an amazing piece of engineering and and information about PHSNE. Right, you want to contact, I just lost them.
Hair on fire, hair on fire. Hair on fire today, yes.
Yeah, did you just want to add a few comments about the website that you were able to put together and get up there last year? It's a huge accomplishment for I think for 2022.
Well, you know, we got steamrollered in countless ways. When the site went down in 2019, it took us the better part of 18 months to get things somewhat aligned. The person to congratulate for that is Joe Walters, because he built what we call the temp site by hand in about 72 hours, which is, I think, a world's record for website building. So, because I took a hell of a lot longer than that. Nonetheless, we ended up with a fabulous, what I think of as website production and management person, Kelly Beth Dollinger. She's managing all of the technical entrails of the website, and for my sins, I'm in charge of the content stuff. We got the site up in late February and early March, and by the time Photographica rolled around, we were going great guns. I think we had over 1,000 visits on one day around the Photographica. And while these things taper off in terms of traffic, the one thing I am most pleased about is Kelly's ongoing contributions in terms of making the site more useful and more usable. Both those two things are different. And for example, the Contact Us button over the fall has been, ringing 4 or 5 times a day. I mean, we've seen an enormous number of requests, many of them no donations, but people, coming to us and that sort of thing. We are going to try and reduce some of what I think of as image overhead by removing the banners sometime in the early part of 2023. And putting more of the content up front at the top of the page, and simplifying some of the other functions and adding new ones. So I've got my work cut out for me insofar as that's concerned. But anyway, that's the shortest thing I can give you today.
That's great, Mike. Thank you very much for that update.
You're welcome.
We're coming down to just the last few minutes. I would be remiss if I didn't say that with all the great stuff that we did and such, we did have a couple of sad moments. We did lose 4 longtime members last year: Paul Nisler, Jay Goldman, John Dirks, and Dan Jones. They were all members for at least 30 years. And not only, this is so sad, but not only do we lose great people, the institutional knowledge that these folks have is just incredible. The previous year, we lost Henry Weisenberger and Ned Shaw. So it really is sad to see that happen. But, that's life, I guess. That's life. I do, we have just a few minutes left, but I do want to open it up. Sorry I had to give such an abbreviated summary of last year, but are there any questions from the floor, from the members at all about anything?
I would like to just say 2 things. One, I do hope you initiate the advertising, because I think that'd be wonderful, especially if some way that the association can get a benefit of dollars from that listings. I want to sell part of my collection, so I think that'd be nice. The other thing is regarding the face-to-face meetings. While I certainly appreciate and I'm sorry that we haven't been having those. For people like myself, for Pete Berg, and for others who are outside of the New England area, Zoom meetings have been a blessing.
Okay. Yeah, I think what we may be trying to do is have some combination, maybe one or two, maybe in-face meetings, and have it in such a way that we could also Zoom those. So we're going to be working on that, Bill. But thank you for your comments.
One comment that I would like to make is we really would encourage, as everyone is aging, if somebody put in their will or before they leave us, decide to donate part of their collection to PHSNE. In a lot of cases, we would really appreciate it. And a lot of people may be in situations where they have to move, they're downsizing, and maybe they don't want to go to the effort of selling a lot of stuff, but they may have a collection of interesting but not incredibly valuable stuff that they would just like to donate to us. So something in a will or as I say, just a request at info@PHSNE would be helpful. Also, what we were talking about for advertising was an insert and snapshots of the journal. So if someone wanted to sell a collection, basically they could put the whole collection on a sheet, and that would be an insert in the, not a little box ad, it would be an insert in the, to go along with the snapshots. But it won't be like a little block that's saying I want to sell stuff. They could actually put out a whole page that we could insert.
Yeah, we'll be working out the details on that, I think, in the next month or two. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. You know, and speaking of donations too, you know, like I mentioned before, they go out a number of different paths. I'd be remiss too if I talked about all of the equipment that we donated last year to high schools. Holly has done a tremendous job getting stuff out to high schools that want to set up dark rooms or exchange equipment and stuff like that. And also stuff that goes on with our auction. I want to thank Marty Jones for being our auctioneer last year, Photographica, for bringing in a couple $1,000s that we sold at auction. So I want to recognize Marty and also on that, and Holly. So
speaking of Photographica, John, I like
what was that?
Yes, Photographica. Yes, hi. I just want everybody to know April 22nd. So maybe we can start meeting people. Those of you, I know Mr. Berg is online and was listening, and a few people have already contacted me. Jim McDonough, I don't know if he'll be back from Florida by then, but yeah, it's going to happen again. If you weren't there last year, we had 412 people show up.
Wow.
It was quite amazing.
That's
And
great.
we're hoping to build on that success again this year.
Yeah. And I think we sold out all the tables too last year, right, John?
In fact, we're destroying some of the dollar tables. We're actually going to put paying tables. I'm hoping to get at least 140 to 160 tables in the hall.
Wow.
And I have people who want them.
Right.
The dealers from out of state have been amazed at the amount of people and the interest that they've got. Some of them has best show in 20 years. Amazing, just amazing. It just never ceases to amaze me. And one of the things I love about the show, unlike the old days when it was a bunch of middle-aged white guys, we have many, many young students, people of all ages, and a lot of women, which we never had at Photographica before. So this is incredible.
Right.
It's almost like a turnaround. People are getting away from these iPhone thingies and actually going back to film and playing with real cameras. It's kind of amazing, actually. It's been fun to watch. So I hope you all will join us and tell people that you know that might be interested. April 22nd, Newton North High School. Incredible venue if you weren't there last year. Very open, very airy. It's the school cafeteria. They did a great job. Thank you.
John, is there any truth to the rumor that the reason why we're attracting a lot of women is we'd gotten out about all the handsome men on the involved with PHSNE? Is that true?
I haven't heard that, John. That's something that I'm not familiar with at all, to be honest with you. There's not been a lot of that, but I think what's missing in a lot of places is the fact that most of the dealers that we have at the shows are very, very knowledgeable people who are very generous with their time. And as a result of that, they come there and they may not know everything that they need to know to actually get up and running with the new purchase. But, and again, the pro on this was Henry Weisenberger. Amazing. He could sit there and pick up a screw and tell you what side of a camera it came out of. And I saw him do it many times.
Yeah.
Amazing person. And, but again, as I said to somebody before, all the jerks are long gone. This would be Photographica number 90. And now we have people who really care about it. They're not in it for necessarily just the money. And I think that's important. And I think it's for the kids, that's good to see. They really can, you know, and we pass on our knowledge as well.
Right.